basic level, I just want to hit on what feminine energy is. We're not talking about gender, obviously. We're talking about these qualities within us, right? And they show up when we're interacting with other people. And again, we have both masculine and feminine energies. And I think you have a handout that Megan sent to you earlier today. On the left, you'll see the masculine qualities, and on the right are the feminine complements. So strong and soft, being intentional and creative, giving and receiving, grounded and playful, speaking and listening, linear and circuitous, self-disciplined, and then sensitive and intuitive. Again, these complement each other and provide balance. So we require both of them. They say the healthiest people can integrate both of them. And I do want to distinguish, there's no right way to do this. We're all different people. So what that integration looks like, how they show up within you, will be unique to you. But we just have to remember what, and ask ourselves, what's it costing us to overuse? And I'm using the word overuse again, right? It's not bad to use your masculine, but when we're overusing them and then overlooking our feminine qualities, what I noticed is I have felt off balance or drained, as I'm trying to force a certain outcome, or disconnected. This is the big one I want to get at. Disconnected from my self-worth when I'm in that overuse of masculine energy, because I think my value at that point is coming from doing, right? Getting things done, being productive. And then I'm unable to relax and I can be a little anxious. And I'm not attracting what I want. So especially the kind of relationships I want at work or in business. So feminine energy is more about a state of being, while the masculine, I've said this a couple times, is more about doing. So a construct that helped me was saying, okay, I'm going to focus on who I want to be and let that lead, and then allow who I'm being to inform the action I'm going to take, versus what I've probably done before, which is to force certain actions and outcomes, like nudge someone along. For example, let's say in the past when I was dating and I really wanted to make sure I got a date on the calendar with someone I liked, the old me would have probably tried to force that. And I didn't think I was forcing it. I just thought I was being, helpful by letting him know that I was available that weekend or what I was doing all weekend. So he knew when to ask me. I'm seeing some of you smile, so hopefully that you're laughing with me and not at me. But anyway, a quick example, again, can be used overall, but I feel like it's more for relationships, is let's say I know sometimes I'm working with clients and they want to hear from someone. Let's say they're dating a man and they're like, oh, I haven't heard from him. I want to hear from him. So I'll ask, well, what do you really want to feel in this moment? Because we're attaching it to that person, right? And that's not always healthy. We're going to attach to the outcome. So you might hear them say, oh, I just want to feel love and connection. Okay, great. Let's find a different way to feel that, because as human beings, all we want is just to feel a certain way. We get a little hung up on how that has to look. And so one simple way is when you hear yourself say, I want to feel this way, show up being that way, right? Being more connected, being more loving. And suddenly you're going to have certain actions spontaneously come from you that attracts situations and people and opportunities that end up manifesting what you deeply desire. And I feel like, Megan, maybe that was what you were getting at a little bit with that dating situation when you were more in your feminine. It's like you didn't have to lead him the whole way, sort of could present yourself.
And when I was in my feminine energy consciously, it's crazy to see how he stepped into his masculine more too. And that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted from him. But before, I was trying to force it with my masculine energy, and that didn't work so well.
Right. With the work stuff, I think what's really key is journaling a little bit on what each quality means to you. What does strong look like to Rosie? What does strong look like to Megan, right? And then what does soft look like? What does that even mean? And then do that for each quality and then find a way to integrate it. So I'm going to just give you an example I'll give you a couple examples if that works from my life. And I just pick a complementary masculine, feminine energy, and I describe like an overall vision for what I want. So let's say we were looking at that linear, directional, and circular, circuitous. I never can say that word right. I try to say, okay, overall, what felt right to me after I did some journaling was that I can set a vision and a strategic plan, right? That's that directional piece. And this could be at work too, right? You have a project coming up and you want to make sure that you are clear and deliberate. That's wonderful. We need that at work, right? We need that for our teams to follow us. And then, but you could add that circular feeling of it. And for me, it was just allowing for time and space to let the project unfold. So again, you can set an intention of how you want it to be, but then you would create some space for it. So specifically in my career, what that looked like for me is I plan my calendar out, right? I have a lot of different things blocked out in my calendar for a program I'm developing or a project I'm moving forward on. So I have milestones and deadlines for guidance, but I'm not attached to it. And I say that because the old me will be like, wait, we need to hit this deadline. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen if we don't get X, Y, and Z done? So the new me recognizes there's divine timing. Maybe something better's meant to come along. So when I was in advertising and marketing, I worked with, like I said, all these really well-known brands. So they had the top creatives on them. Believe it or not, it was pretty much all men. Again, I'm thinking specifically about Anheuser-Busch creatives I work with. They're funny guys. They won big awards. Their ads are on the Super Bowl, right? So if I walked in like a taskmaster, they would not relate to that. So what I did do was I joked around with them when I walked in. And that was very natural for me. And you would see them just be so open to hearing what I wanted and needed. And I have a really silly example, if I could share it too, of an email I sent, because to me, this really drives the point home. But again, can you see a little bit at least how if I'm going to share what I need and want, but if I do it in a fun way, they were just more open to receiving the message. So another example is, this is when I was first starting out, and I'll always say this to all my clients, and I'll say it here. When you're trying to practice some of this stuff, maybe you start in low stakes situations, right? Maybe not right off the bat with high level people. You want to be in a comfortable situation. So I remember writing an email to my boss who ran Anheuser-Busch, and then 3 or 4 guys who were the top digital people at DDB Chicago. And I basically wrote my masculine subject line, need approval by this time. ASAP. And then I wrote my note full of bullet points, very, like detailed and all this stuff. And I'm like, I need this approval so I could get to the client right away. Crickets. No one responded to me, right? And I cut my heart saying, because I know these guys. I know they're good guys. I didn't understand what was going on. So then I was like, I'm going to practice my feminine. So I wrote a new email and subject line now said help. Now, the old me, remember, would not have liked this. Megan, you're laughing. Some of you are smiling. And I know sometimes when we're in our masculine, whenever I say this example to some women, they're like, oh, how dare you? I'm like, what? I needed help. I needed them to answer me so I could get to the client. So I'm going to use this. And so I put help in the subject line. And then I wrote 2 sentences, right? I'm going to appeal to their masculine. I showed up with the feminine asking for help. And then I appealed with the masculine when I had like 2 sentences. Hey guys, remember that email I sent? Just need your approval. Not kidding. Within 5 seconds, all of them responded. Oh my gosh, yes, great work. So sorry we were delayed, like apologizing to me. Because you won't know how to do this, right? You first have to create awareness for yourself. How am I showing up now? That could be the very first step, honestly, that I work with clients on. How are you showing up in your masculine now? What does strong look like now? What does soft look like now? You could do that for each. Then you can get to, okay, what could it look? There's other little practices you can take, like some simple ones is be open to receiving compliments, show appreciation, take on creative projects. So there's embrace playfulness. Hopefully you feel like a little bit of increased awareness around this, a little more energy, a little more connected and balanced. And I'm just celebrating you and your wholeness. That's what I hope you take away from this. This is not about being one way or another.
Megan Wessels, founder of Powerful Partners. Thank you so much for watching. And if you would like to join us, we host a virtual dinner party for ladies every Saturday night at 6 p.m. with a new topic. There's a virtual dance along, a lot of connections. So grab your glass of wine. It's like virtual girls' night out. We hope to see you at the next one. The link is in my bio.